Okay, so in this second module, we're going to go over a few more formatting details that I think will help you read your data even easier. So the first thing I'm going to teach you is how to alternate the colors of your spreadsheet. And this is a very common tool, so most of you probably already know, but just in case you don't, I'm going to teach you how to do that. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to your formatting toolbar, or your formatting menu, I'm sorry, at the top right underneath the title of your spreadsheet. And alternating colors is the second to last option towards the bottom. When you click on that, you will see your alternating colors menu. And they do have a lot of default styles that you can choose from. So you can actually try them all out and see which one that you like the best. If you don't like what they have for you, you can make your own custom colors. So I'm going to go ahead and choose this green. No, that's too bright. Let's choose this blue one. Once you pick the colors that you'd like, you're going to hit done. And now it's a little bit easier to read as you go along the rows to read the information for each child. So now what we're going to do is we're going to add a border around the entire spreadsheet just to make it look a little bit more clean. So when you have to print this spreadsheet, it looks a little bit better. So to add a border around your entire spreadsheet, you're going to hit Control A on your keyboard, like I taught you in the previous video, to select the whole spreadsheet. Once you have it selected, we're going to go to the border icon right here, which is right next to the paint bucket. When you click on that, you're going to see that there's a lot of different border options, but you just have to pay attention to what the icon is highlighting so you know which one that you're going to edit or choose. So we want the outside border, so I'm going to pick the icon that has the outer borders highlighted. And when you click on it, you'll see that it added a thin border to the outside of my spreadsheet. I like a darker border around my spreadsheet, so I'm going to go ahead and go to the border style here. I'm just going to click on the thicker border. So now you see I have a thick border along the outside of my spreadsheet. I'm going to go ahead and do this, highlight my header row, because I like to have a thick border under my titles of my columns. So I just clicked and dragged to highlight the entire row. I didn't push the number 1 because I don't want the border to go all the way to the empty ones. That's why I didn't do that. So I'm just gonna click and drag what I want the border to be under. I'm gonna go to the border icon again, and this time I only want the bottom border. So I have to pick the icon that's only highlighting the bottom border, which is this one here. When I do that, because I chose the thicker border last time, it keeps that setting so you don't have to change it every single time. Okay, so now this is what your spreadsheet looks like. And I actually want to add a thinner border in between all of the data. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to click and drag where I want to add a border. So again, you're going to start from the very left, click and drag all the way to the right, and then go down. And be careful because sometimes it goes super fast and you can lose control super easily. So once you have all of your data highlighted, I'm going to go ahead and go to the border icon once again. And I only want the inner borders. So that's this second icon here. So it's only going to add borders to the middle of my spreadsheet. And that's really too thick. So I'm going to go ahead and go to the border style. And I'm going to actually choose the dotted line. So it's a little bit thinner and it doesn't look so bulky. So as you can see here, I still have text that's not wrapping because I didn't edit this column. So I'm going to go ahead and choose a text wrapping icon like I showed you in the previous video to wrap that text so it's easier to read. And I'm actually going to make all of the rows a little bit thicker so I can see all the information easily. So now I'm going to show you the print preview. So as you're editing your spreadsheet and getting ready to print it, it's a good idea to check the print preview so you can see what you've done to make sure that it looks the way you want it to before you print. So to go to the print preview, you're going to go to your file menu and you're going to click on print on the very bottom of the menu. So the default for some reason is landscape, which is okay depending on what kind of spreadsheet that you're using. I really prefer portrait. So I'm going to go ahead and change it to portrait. And the scale is set to fit to width. So it's actually the best option. If you fit the whole spreadsheet to the page, it will shrink it and it will look super small the way you see on my screen. So in order to get the most out of your spreadsheet, to see it clearly, always do fit to width. You can even change the margins to make them narrow so your spreadsheet looks a little bit wider and just takes up more of your piece of paper. So as you scroll down, pay attention to your formatting to make sure this is how you want it to look when you print it. As you can see, because we froze the first row in the first video, you'll see that when you print your spreadsheet, the first row appears on every page of your spreadsheet. As you can see, it does keep all of the empty cells. So we're going to go ahead and fix that. So I'm going to go ahead and cancel out of that. And I'm actually going to delete some rows. So this can be, it takes a couple of minutes. So you're just going to click on the first row that's empty, which for me, it's row 60. And I guess for you too, since you're using the same sheet as me. You're going to click and drag. That's not it. You're going to click and drag all the way down, and you can just hold down your mouse and just keep scrolling down. It's going to go up to 999, I believe. Takes a minute. So if you'd like to pause this video now to do this yourself, please feel free to. Go ahead and practice adding borders, alternating colors. Format your spreadsheet the way you want to format it. Any day now. Almost there. There it goes. So once you highlight everything, you're going to right click and you're going to delete rows 60 to 999. And it will get rid of all the unnecessary rows. You can actually do the same thing for your columns. So I'm going to click and drag to the right to highlight all of the unnecessary columns that I have. Clicking and dragging. Then you're going to right click and delete columns J through Y. So now all you're left with are the columns that you absolutely need. So again, you're going to go to the print preview just to make sure that you fix the issues that you wanted to fix. And now it looks good. So now you are ready to print. Thank you, and it's time to move on to the next video.